everybody, so exciting new review for you guys today. We're talking about the upcoming revival of Animaniacs over on Hulu. If you grew up in the 90s, you probably have some sort of fond memories of Yakko, Wacko, Dot, and also Pinky and the Brain. Personally, they were some of my favorite cartoons growing up, them and Tiny Toon Adventures. So I was really excited when Hulu announced they were going to bring back the series. They have the original voice cast, so I was on board. November 20th, 2020 is when it comes out on Hulu. So I want to also give a huge thank you to Hulu for supplying me with the season. Not all the episodes. I do want to give that disclaimer that they only sent me half of the season. But even with the episodes I did see, I'm going to say that I had an absolute blast watching this show. It's such a treat getting these characters back in a modern setting. I think that whether you're an old fan of the series or a new fan of Animaniacs, you're going to get a lot of fun out of watching the show. The writing is still just as clever as it was 22 years ago, but now with a modern update where Yakko, Wacko, and Dot attempt to adapt to 2020 culture. This show, I feel, is the perfect way to revive a franchise like this because it gives us more of the same stuff that we grew up loving as fans of Animaniacs. The slapstick kind of humor, the satire, the pop culture references, but it's now updated to a modern audience, so we can enjoy it even still as we're adults, and the new audience enjoys it. I honestly have a smile on my face almost the entire time watching these episodes, just pure nostalgia, watching Yakko, Wacko, and Dot just talk about modern day events, because I never thought this would ever happen, and some of the writing is quite clever and made me laugh. And same goes for the stuff whenever it involves Pinky and the Brain as well, because their segments still feel very nostalgic. Pinky and the Brain, they're still trying to take over the world and failing miserably at it. I do think that older audiences will appreciate the humor as a whole a lot more, just because I think a lot of it is skewed more towards an older audience compared to the younger, especially as multiple segments are actually based around like political stuff. But I do think that older kids and younger kids alike are going to get a lot of laughs out of it. I remember when I was watching Animaniacs as a kid and missed out on certain jokes and innuendos the show made until I was older, and I think it's going to be a little bit of the same here, where younger people aren't going to pick up on some jokes until maybe later on in their life. I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite aspects of the original Animaniacs were all of the awesome songs that we got out of that series. While I don't know if a lot of these songs in this new revival are going to be as iconic as some of those songs, like Nations of the World, I did find myself really liking a lot of the songs, especially the one from episode 1 that's all about reboots. I think episode 1 has some of the really strong songs and also moments from episodes that I did see, especially the song though. I really love the song choices that they make throughout the episodes. But Yakko, Wacko, and Dot aren't the only ones in this. Pinky and the Brain as well are fantastic. They're still with their hijinks going on. They still have that amazing, hilarious chemistry. Some of their episodes, their little segments they have are really entertaining. Some of my favorite ones are when Brain creates a robot version of himself, and of course things go awry. And then there's another one where Brain actually creates his own perfect kind of first lady, taking bits and pieces from different other famous first ladies throughout history. That was probably one of my favorite ones of the ones that I saw. And there are actual new characters to the Hulu series for Animaniacs, Starbox and Cindy. Personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of their segments, at least of the ones that I did see, but maybe there are other segments in other episodes I wasn't provided for or a little bit more entertaining. But I personally wasn't a big fan of them, but that's one of the very few negatives you're probably going to get from me when it comes to this series. The animation style for the Hulu reboot is actually something that took a little bit to grow on me as well, but once it actually got used to it, it did actually grow on me a bit. Some of the different animation styles I actually did really enjoy as they experimented with them, one where they're like overly cute, or one where they have a segment where they're actually done up in like an anime kind of style. It was really interesting. I like the fact that they tried to be a little bit diverse with the different animation. In case you were wondering what my actual favorite episodes were, I'm going to be really curious, by the way, what your guys are when you do check out this series. Make sure you actually let me know in the comments section. But as far as my favorites go, for the Animaniacs segments, I would say that episodes 1, 6, and 8 are some of my favorites. And for the Pinky and the Brain segments, I would say episodes 1, 4, and 8 are some of my favorite segments. So hopefully we have some different ones, but I hope that we can agree on at least some of them. But yeah, overall, this is probably some of the most fun I've had watching a series all 2020. I had a blast watching it. The nostalgia, the kid in me came out. I really hope that a lot of people around my age who actually have kids, you watch it with your kids so they can get a lot of the fun Animaniacs stuff, and also just some of the old stuff as well if you haven't already. Because I think this is a good gateway into watching the old episodes of Animaniacs. Even if maybe some of the pop culture references and stuff like that from the original show from the 90s doesn't really hold up as well for someone that's younger. This was a great nostalgia boost. I'm a big fan of certain things coming back from my childhood. As I mentioned earlier, I watched this and Tiny Toon's Adventure, which is also being revived over on HBO Max. So I'm really glad that we're getting revivals of this. Hopefully we get more of Animaniacs in the future, just because I hope it's not a one and done kind of thing. I mean, even the intro alludes that they kind of have 2 seasons at least, so we'll probably at least get 1 more season of this, hopefully more, especially if they keep this team together. I think they're going to make some really great work here. Those have just been my thoughts on the revival of Animaniacs on Hulu. Make sure you check it out November 20th when it comes out. If you do get a chance to check it out, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. What did you think of this series when you checked it out? Did you like it? Did you not like it? If you were a fan of the original Animaniacs, how do you think this stacks up against it? Just because I'd love to know what you guys thought if you were a fan of the original Animaniacs and are watching it. Whether it's new or old fans, you're all welcome here, and I'd love to talk about the show with you guys. So make sure you leave a comment so we get the discussion going. I like to talk all things movies and TV here on the channel. Thank you as always for checking my reviews, though. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you like it, the subscribe button. We'll keep doing movie reviews, show reactions, unboxings, and more. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.